Dragon with Metal Nexus. I'm going to have you all just introduce yourselves.
Sure, I'm Aaron Kennedy, play guitar.
I'm Mason Evans, I play drums.
Tim Driscoll, I play guitar.
Ben Scott, I played skin flute.
Will Little, play bass.
And I am with Dead Earth Politics, sorry. And this is Dragon, of course. Tour so far, how's it going, man?
Well,
And it has its ups.
Yeah.
Fall down.
it's got little tumbles.
Literally.
Yeah, it's going well, except for little minor mishaps. Luckily, they have things that could have completely derailed all plans have not, because homie over here is
He's a fucking gladiator.
Hell
yeah.
Well, to be fair, and I mean, we got lucky with some.
You're a gladiator.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We'll go
Right.
with that.
When someone says you're a gladiator,
Yeah, you embrace it. Yeah.
All right. Well, yes. Okay. Fine. I'm a gladiator. Call me Maximus.
Well, of course, it took Kentucky to make him more metal than ever.
Yes.
Than
Hey,
one.
I give full credit.
here.
And what was this I hear? Something about a gun? Somebody shot a gun for the first time?
That
That
was
was
That's
also
awesome,
me
too.
too. Yeah.
Was that in Kentucky?
Was it in Alabama?
I was in
Oh,
Alabama.
Alabama.
They're Kentucky's like basement neighbor.
Yeah.
But
Watch it now.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying on the map.
Yeah.
Looking down there.
No, we loved it. It was,
Yeah.
our host Jimmy, we were hanging out, and as he was making some food for us, and it just came up that, and I knew it was gonna happen as soon as someone was saying it. I forget who said it.
Your brother.
Will? Oh, said, what's up, buddy? He says, this guy's never ever shot a gun before, and as soon as he said that,
But 2 minutes later,
one
yeah.
of our hosts just stood up and
Well,
walked
no,
out.
it was Jimmy's wife.
Yeah, it was Jim.
No, Jimmy's wife doesn't have a beard. The dude, I forget his name, but the dude got up and he went in and he immediately went in and got Jimmy's wife, and then she came out.
She's like, which one of y'all never shot a gun before? and it was like right in front of me. I'm like, okay, can't whip out now.
Did
know?
you enjoy it? I guess
Yeah.
that's the point there.
Yeah, it was cool. It was.
That's actually his erection is what knocked him out of the van.
Yeah.
Because it still hadn't gone away.
Lasting power.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
And
cool.
he does not have PTSD, for the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Kentucky especially, guns sort of go hand in hand with our lifestyle there.
Texas, too.
Yeah, you know.
There you go, no doubt.
You guys up in the hills there. You never know. You got to protect yourself.
Exactly.
You know.
Timmy's the city boy, so he never
Oh,
opportunity in
wow.
Boston.
That's why. Yeah. From the
Usually,
East Coast.
those cities, they're usually shooting at you instead.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
As opposed to with you.
Yeah, exactly. The Mobius Hammersmith. It's out. How's the public reception of it going so far? I know it's early in the game, but
It's been great, man. It's been unreal, really. I mean, Revolver picked it up and streamed it, which is,
as did Metal Nexus.
as did Metal Nexus, and not to rip off any other band.
No.
We're just a little old band from Texas, and it was pretty impressive to me, to see
a
somebody
great
like that driving our stuff.
We've got some stellar reviews from our local publications, as well as some of the
you.
bigger metal publications, Metal Injection.
Awesome.
Metal
Nexus.
And then Randall Amplifiers has, they shared it as well as, we're Randall artists, and kind of help us out there too. So we've had good reception. It's been really
Yeah,
nice.
deservedly so. Deservedly so.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
To me, Dead Earth Politics is like one of the biggest underdogs in U.S. metal, man. I mean, seriously, y'all are so kick-ass, but it's like the masses, for the most part, are clueless. Unfortunately, they're bad, their fault, their problem. So
Well, the good news is we're stubborn as shit.
you're not going anywhere. Huh?
We're not going anywhere. We'll still be underdogs years from now, cracking away at that stone. So.
That's okay. We know we're kind of a big deal.
That's all that matters, as long as you know it.
Yeah. We'll work on convincing everybody else.
And that's the main goal of the next 3 years. See, the whole point of the 3 album thing that we did was for a little while we've been together for 10 years. About in our 6th year, we went through a little dip, and a lot of people weren't even aware that we were still active. Fast forward to a couple of lineup changes and a very, to me, and especially for me, distinct sound and style kind of mashup, change, whatever you want to call it. We we started playing the game a little bit differently. Making connections, and you say that's on the people who haven't heard of us, but it's it's actually mainly on us. We need to pick up the slack with press and stuff, and that's mainly what we've been doing. So it's like we had this guy on board when we first started doing Queen of Steel. That's why we did the 3-song EP. Bust that out, show people what's happening. And then this guy got on board actually right as we were finishing mixing that, and then Mobius came out, and so you hear a full evolution in
There's
3
one in the middle.
EPs.
There was Men Become Gods.
Men Become
Yeah,
Gods.
No, that's why I indicated. Then he came on. If I said Mobius and whatever, so there's in 3 EPs, full evolution. And now the idea is to kind of tour on it and really push the press and pick up the slack we were talking about.
We got some opportunities too.
Yeah.
Just shortly after the release of Queen of Steel, where we were doing House of Horror Film Festival and Mike Scascia Hard Rock event and with Down and War Beast and some of them, and it's slowly been progressing. And barbecue as well. So it's slowly been progressing, but getting bigger, getting more of a snowballing a little bit. Gaining momentum.
And where we have people driving across state lines to come see us,
traveling
for
to do
instance,
so.
Yeah.
Barbecue, was that your all's first trek out to the east a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
far out east. I mean,
Yeah.
we laugh all the time. We call Louisiana our second home. I mean, we started this
no, you
tour
didn't.
in Lake Charles, and we've been playing LC since, 2007?
Yeah.
Ish. And it's been really good to us, always. But yeah, this is our first trip this far out east.
Gotcha.
Our second trip this time.
Mobius, is that a character? What's the story behind Mobius Hammersmith?
So the concept behind that particular song is the idea of just the concept idea, especially in the political climate, as hopefully people are starting to wake up and sort of look around and sort of say, oh, all this shit just keeps happening. The whole idea of he who doesn't learn from history is doomed to repeat it. So I had this idea of this character that creates this sort of consistent band of war that just keeps happening, and terrible mistakes, and just the idea of a Mobius strip being the sort of malleable future and past, and how it all just kind of
It's a self-serving.
it's the same thing over and over again. So and then it just went that route. I mean, it's very kind of ambiguous and lyrically, other than formation of what the tools this character is using. But that's where I was coming from with it, at least.
Segueing from that, what is the songwriting process for you all?
It's a
You
lot
don't want
of
to
Ryan.
talk. You don't want to
Usually
talk
I just
about
asked
that
the
at
wrong
all.
question.
A lot of us stepping on Tim's nuts.
Yeah.
And then going, this is way too goddamn fast. Gotta slow that down.
Just slow it down. It's like
So one of the things that I always say about the songwriting process for us is it's very much a crafting, building thing. It's like building a steeple or a building or anything else. It's foundation, and there's layers that go into it, and it's not. We don't walk into it with a blueprint very often. Everybody's got some ideas, or one person's got a seed, and then everybody else has some ideas. A lot of times when Tim or Aaron will bring in a riff or a whole series of riffs that they've got stuff planned out for, that's when the ball stepping comes, because these guys are inspirational in their songwriting, but the rest of us are all very creative as well. So we start kind of crunching the nuts and switching things up. It's arduous, man. It's arduous. There's a lot of push and pull, but we're brothers, and it works out.
And there's a lot of instances where it's like we'll have a song where we think it's fine, or we don't. We think it's fine, and we're just kind of playing it that way for months, and then all of a sudden something just doesn't seem right or whatever, and then all of a sudden someone having it be like, hey, what if we did this here? And then all of a sudden it
That was
it's just a
Mobius.
little
Yeah, I was
tweak.
going to say Mobius actually went through that.
And then everybody's on board with it again.
Yeah.
You know, funnily enough.
Yeah, we started
So-
Mobius, and it was very different from what it is now, and about half of us liked it and half of us hated it, and then all of us hated it, and then we went back to the drawing
We're still
board.
hating it.
Yeah.
We went back to the drawing board on it, and it was interesting because there's a couple of songs on this record. That was one of them where I was like, you know, that's my least favorite track on the record. And then we did our final mix down with Taz Osterhaus, and it was like, that's awesome. I love every song on this record.
Yeah, we definitely made the record that we wanted to make with this, and we're pleased with pretty much every last you know, note and chord and cymbal crash and all that, from the songwriting to the production to the performances. It definitely feels like a culmination of what we've been building to the last few years. So.
The video to Room Scarred is out. Of course, videos in the past, Redneck Dragon Slayer, Artistic License.
Yeah.
How involved are you all in the video process?
This guy is neck deep in it.
Yeah. It just it really depends. Redneck Dragon Slayer and Rune Scarred, Tyler Russell, who we met and for the first time started working with him with Redneck Dragon Slayer, and he and I became friends, and he's running into a lot of success with the film that he's pushing right now called Here Comes Rusty. And so we've slotted some time where we were going to shoot this video, and so he and I came up with the concept, which was very loose and actually didn't involve Tim until like the last rendition. I was like, oh shit, we need to have Tim in there. And they're like, we'll just have him dead at the beginning.
Which I was quite pleased with.
Sounds like it.
I spent more time. So I'm dead. I'm lying on gravel. I spent more time moving the gravel away, so I had my head to lay on something soft than the actual like shooting of my my part, as it were.
Yeah.
But so.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, there's two like favorite parts in that video, like for me, and I don't know why. That just, to me, I watch them every time, and it's like Mason's little scene where he gets his head cut off, and then
Everyone loves
and
that
then
scene.
Right
I'm
after
pissing
that,
people off. What can I
but
say?
right after that, you know, it's showing the Queen and everything, and then these two guys, like these old bald bearded
Papa.
guys,
Oh,
like
old bearded guys.
They're like,
Oh my
you know, well, I mean,
No, just put your foot back in your mouth.
I like that part. That's just kind of what it reminds me of.
It
It's
reminds
like
me
little
of grumpy
rabbits
old
just sticking
men.
their heads
Meh,
up
meh,
there.
meh.
And it's fucking, I get a smile on my face every time I see it.
Musical influences. I'll probably have a few years on you all. I'm 46. I know.
Only a couple, my friend.
Well, okay. And for me, it was Kiss. Kiss is what started me. 74 or 5, bought my first album. What was each of your all's musical inspirations? What started you?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a long
Jesus
conversation.
Christ.
Hope you
Well,
got a
I
lot
mean,
of fun.
You
I
said
think.
10 minutes, dude. Jeez.
I was young when I first got into music and started playing guitar, but you know, I guess I would have to say the first thing was I was in like 4th grade or something, and you know, the Metallica record, the Black Album like just came out, so that grabbed my attention, and then I got really into Guns N' Roses, and I got into Megadeth, which I'll be honest with you, I hold on. I think as far as longevity is concerned, I'm a bigger Megadeth fan than I am a Metallica fan. But those were really the ones that grabbed me, and then I had all sorts of other things in between that we won't go there.
Okay.
But you know, all sorts of shit. I learned guitar from a classical guitar player, and though I can't play classical style anymore, you know, there's always going to be that influence kind of in there a little bit. So that works very well into the music, into the metal genre,
Definitely,
just
yeah.
because everything is metal is a culmination of all the different genres.
Yeah. For me, I started playing drums when I was 8. My dad and mom lived next door to Chris Layton from Stevie Ray. And so I had a heavy blues background. That's who my dad got my first drum set from. that's what I learned how to play. And you know, Chris kind of showed me the ropes, and you know, I was heavy into that. And I got a little bit older. I started getting real into rap and hip hop, and then later into metal. And you know, Iron Maiden plays very prominently. My three favorite drummers are Nico McBrain and Gene Hoglan, the Atomic Clock.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then Bron Daler from Mastodon. You know, that's. I was gonna try and peg down three guys that are.
That's a trifecta.
Yeah, kind of driving my paradigm. That's what it is.
Definitely, Tim.
Well, I mean, it's sort of like most anyone else. It's like you sort of, you know, who's around you. And in my case, I have an older brother and my dad. And so my older brother, you know, first introduced me into similar stuff that Aaron was into, you know, Metallica, your Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, those bands. And my dad was, you know, showed me Hendrix and Cream and Zeppelin and some of the, you know, the older classic rock cats. And so that was a big thing. You know, a lot of the Seattle bands, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, stuff like that. And then just from there, I moved on to some more guitar-oriented stuff, Dream Theater, Joe Satriani, whoever, and little bits and pieces of just, you know, anything to me that sounds inspired and, you know, has something to say, whatever that means. That means different things to different people.
Subjective.
But that's kind of the, at least those are the first few sort of roots of my tree.
Tim's got a real
I
cool
guess.
thing that he did with this record where he goes through and lists a
Bibliography.
a reference to each song, piece by piece. It's like, basically it goes, you know, this artist inspired that part, and this artist inspired that part, and so on and so forth. So you can see exactly who we ripped off and when.
Yeah, I want to make just in case.
Shamelessly.
Yeah.
Tributed.
Hey,
Tributed.
Tim's our encyclopedia.
Yeah, I want to make sure we don't get sued, you know. So I gotta give credit where it's due.
Tim, who was president in 1834?
I think it was Andrew Jackson.
And who won the World Series in '68?
Tim's gonna like one of these with a bunch of useless knowledge.
The Detroit Tigers.
There you go. Look it up. Go Google that
I had to
shit.
fact check him. Ben, what got you into music, brother?
Man, as far as rock, it was Queensryche. Queensryche brought me in, and then shortly after that, I turn your stink eye away, Mason. Give me your shit. This guy doesn't like Queensryche. I don't know.
Really?
He's a communist.
I am. Tim is.
Will's indifferent as he is in most things.
And then it went to from there it went to Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer, and then into like Napalm Death and Morbid Angel and a little hint. I went into Emperor and Unleashed. You know, touched on black metal stuff for a minute, but really, my biggest influences now are things that I didn't like when I was younger. Iron Maiden, Priest, things like that. But I still like. What got me into the band was when I started kind of fucking around with Randy Blythian vocals, and what really attracted me to like what Randy does is he enunciates.
The enunciation, yeah, definitely.
So that's what I started to do, and then this asshole joined the band, kicked everything up a notch, and I'm like, okay, now I have to do something different that actually fits everything. You know, I need to actually pretend like I have some sort of talent and start hitting
got
the
everybody
notes.
fooled.
Yeah.
Somebody the other night told you sounded like Brocky, huh?
Yeah, I've gotten that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
That's cool.
That's
Jason's
pretty
giving me the.
Oh.
What was your?
I'll be quick. Mine, long back in the day, there was a compilation album, and there were two particular songs on it that really hooked me, and it was. You probably don't know it's Anesthesia Pulling Teeth and
Never heard of it.
and Whiplash from a very obscure band, Metallica. That's it.
Metallica.
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
That's ironic because I took a tape to a party one time and played it, and these girls ripped it out of the player and said, looked at it and said, "This Metallica sucks." And they had no idea who it was and everything. In closing, anything you all want to add? Of course, I'm gonna plug the shit out of Dead Earth Politics, the Mobius Hammersmith EP. The guys are out on the road. Room Scarred video is online. You can see it, Metal Nexus YouTube, their sites and everything. Closing words, gentlemen.
Man, I just appreciate you and everything that you do. The word is getting out because of people like you. You know, the independent bands depend on Metal Nexus of the world.
Next
eye.
Next eye.
Next eye.
Yeah.
You guys
Well, it's
are
definitely our pleasure, man. Like I said, we appreciate having good kick-ass.
It's a big deal, man.
Music,
It's,
man.
As we continue to do this, we continue to find guys like you who are willing to, cross state lines.
We'll all go the distance, man.
Yeah,
It is.
it matters.
Definitely.
People that are, into, into metal or into music at all, like, just support who you're into, like, go to their shows.
Go
Buy
to
their
local
merchandise.
shows.
Yeah, support your scene.
Buy their
man.
merchandise, and then, of course, continue to follow Dead Earth Politics as we trek through, our mishaps and our, and everything else, and, continue to make things happen and enjoy what we do, so.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sounds like a good point to close it on. Dragon, Metal Nexus, Dead Earth Politics. Get out, see them, buy their stuff. Metal on.